We were talking about Jorge Martin. Yeah, he's on a roll, Matt. You're right. Looks so good. And let's see if he can keep that roll going here, because he looks amazing on the bike when he's riding it like that.
He really does. It's poetry in motion, isn't it? A match made in heaven, the Martin.
Bike's first podium in 500 Grand Prix, and yeah, I love the place. And especially the last, from the back straight all the way to the start-finish line is mostly the old part.
Him coming here at Assen, what is it about the circuit that Marco just seems to gel with so well?
Yeah, this track is one of the preferred for him. In the past, we make our first podium, so that's really, really important to win in Le Mans and also in Argentina. But I think we are making a very good job. Of course, we understand that sometimes it's very difficult to make a podium, but always we don't have the factory bike for 2024. But anyway. Still start to make our agreement with Ducati. We already have the agreement for next year, but we have to buy that.
Thank you for your time. All the best for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks Pablo, thanks Jack, and it is good afternoon to Jack support, but you do wonder, Simon, with 8 bikes in the grid next year with a Ducati, you'll just be perfectly happy with 4 GP24s, current factory bikes, and then the 4 GP23s.
Times out of 10, unless the factory makes a big step, 9 times out of 10, maybe less than that, I'm not too wild guess, but beautiful sector. Shame we missed it there, Matt, but absolutely wonderful. To me, it's the best. Where it ends here, that last section is the best part of the whole circuit. Absolutely wonderful.
That 4th sector in Assen, it really does make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, doesn't it? There can't be a better last sector than that one, so I mean, it's just magnificent. The onboard there just gives an indication that the skill of these guys. First corner, and again Bagnaia.
Some instability, yeah.
You just pumping on the rear, Simon, and in this particular section this morning where he didn't have.
Then the next one, really the one right before it, so braking for the last chicane, and there's one other place that there's a bit of hard braking, halfway around, but in general it's not a hard braking circuit, compared to
Quartararo. Fair to say he's having a proper tough time at the moment. What a difference a year makes for the factory Yamaha team in Quartararo. They came here last year, believe it or not, looking for a 3rd straight victory. He'd won in Catalonia, he'd won in
Getting back to Quartararo, I've got to say that, yes, everyone else has made small steps.
The weekend, it's actually hard to think the last time Yamaha and Fabio Quartararo had a weekend to remember. Probably Kota, their only podium of the season so far. It has been a tough one for Fabio.
And Matt, just to run through why his results have been so different. They fixed it overnight, and he was very competitive on Sunday. Again, Matt, the young fella is really doing the job.
He really is. What about these two men then? Who've had pretty tough 2023 so far, haven't they? Taka Nakagami leading the first corner. Joan Mir continues to be absent with the broken right little finger on his hand after a crash in Mugello. His place this weekend's gone to Honda World Super. Alex Rins, we've seen him post messages to his fans, to MotoGP fans all around the world, saying that he's determined. It's only strengthened his resolve to get back as quick as he can.
Alex Rins on that. The guy's so natural. You're going to see some magic, aren't you? From he's proven.
All eyes on a certain Moto2 contender as well, Pedro Acosta, who made it pretty clear yesterday when he spoke to Jack in our TV set here at the Dutch TT that he ain't planning on hanging around in Moto2 next year, and he's told KTM such.
I was wearing one. You might have seen on that video when they set them off, and it doesn't inflate slowly. It's like it's like if you slap your leg.
Next question.
Well, the next question is, whereabouts is he going to go? There's rumours that KTM are looking potentially to put 6 bikes out there, but Gresini have locked that off by, we imagine.
Racing is also made of to understand what 2024 will be.
Thank you, Hervé. We look forward to the Red Bull Ring then.
Meanwhile, let's have a good rest, all of us, and see each other with a big smile rested in Silverstone, beginning of August.
Absolutely.
He just grabbed the front brake, it locked the front for a millisecond. It was enough to throw his leg off the foot peg, just sort of lost balance. Then the rear slid, and before he knew it, he was on the gravel. The wall.
Not save his crash, but did you see how hard he fought from the moment he locked? And yeah, exactly the same thing. Because you so need the exit to get the run down the next straight. That's where they're trying. And
Bagnaia is the first man in this afternoon session who's found improvement in lap times. The temperature up and the pace hotting up now as well, particularly for the... Yeah, some good tracks in the second half of the season, aren't there, for the Beast to show his true form, to see if he can get his teeth into a couple more race wins.
let's see how difficult it is to stop those more responsive, but the problem is it's so hard to catch because it'll literally sound like rum, rum, you know, compared to rum and slowly dropping, and that makes it hard to catch. And it also, for the tyre though, there's RPM drops, and there's that mass, the inertia of the flywheel goes bang through the gearbox to the tyre as well and can upset the grip. Well, the inertia
it'd be just at the back of his mind, he wanted to avoid any late yellow flag drama. A 1:33.284 got Oliveira up to 11th place.
Running into the green in those areas, you know, where there's green paint on the outside. Saxon Ring, apparently it went from like 400 down to single figures, you know. So the riders...
It's the biggest sporting event, or one of the biggest sporting events that happens in this wonderful country, and we are expecting a massive crowd here this week.
Matt, just before these times start coming in, which we know they're going to, I want to give a shout out, like I tried to a little bit earlier, to, I don't know his surname,
Together, not just to make this a spectacular show, MotoGP, but the safest show that we can put on as well. That's exactly what we are seeing as we get a check on Aleix Espargaro. And he's the first significant move then of this afternoon session. Aleix, he's got up to a Grand Prix, having had to wait since August 2021 when he won the Red Bull Ring in Styria. You wouldn't be surprised now if the floodgates don't open for this young man, if he really does start to string together a sequence of wins in a row. Alice then finds a 1:32.374, the man who's chasing a 9th podium finish in the Grand Prix here on Sunday. It was a bit of a horror show, wasn't it, last weekend in the Saxon Ring for Maverick Vinales. And across the last 4 to run of results at the moment, the 25-run Italian, his last 4 Grand Prix finishes top 6. He's been top 5 in the last 3 sprints as well as Luca Marini, although previous visits to Assen in MotoGP haven't been too then from the Beast. Number 23, Bastianini, flicks that Ducati hard into that first corner, just on the fringe of the top 10 right now.
You don't want that.
He's going through there pretty much full throttle, 5th gear, 200 kilometers an hour, and he thinks the thing's going to launch him into orbit. Scary stuff. Scary stuff. Bleak times for Honda, bleak times for Yamaha as well, and with clear track in front of him, Fabio. They are the lap times that he can cut. They are the times that he can deliver. It's if Fabio gets stuck down the sort of 3rd or 4th row and he has to work his way through. Hard to overtake on the Yamaha. Did find his best time of the weekend so far. It wasn't without its scares, was it, as he powered through turn 12. But he has climbed up to 16th with a 1:33.485.
I wonder if you're saying to Santi there, pointing at the screen going, did you see?
Jack Miller, Taka Nakagami hasn't found any pace compared to this morning. Bastianini, Oliveira, he was looking good this morning, Miguel. He was up into 5th place when he had that crash at the first corner, which will just able to hobble away through the gravel. He's trying to keep up par, isn't he, here with Vinales. There he goes, mid-corner, front end.
Yeah, and I think what I saw there, as soon as he's touched the throttle, yellow flag in that section at that time is going to upset a few people, you know, inside their helmets.
He has just cleared that yellow flag in that first sector. These guys are going to get the head back down again. I don't think Maverick Vinales is going to have any concern. When you think about it now, that's 6 crashes for Mark in his last 4 days out on circuit, the 5 that he had in the Saxon last weekend, including, of course, 6 days ago, the 3 in the space of half an hour across the 2 concession. How the mighty have fallen And Marquez has fallen again in this session. Jack Miller, that's a big move from the Aussie. All right, might cause a few visibility problems. Still a lot of Rossi fans around wherever you go in the World Championship. The most successful MotoGP rider in Assen, of course. Took his